Ben Shapiro just went absolutely scorched earth on Andrew Tate. You have to see this. The caption of the post he made on X, formerly Twitter, anyone who tells you to ignore marriage, and if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, red pill masculinity, bro. I've done videos on that before, but he basically believes with Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's about to break him down. So if you don't really know who he is, you're not really into this world. He is beloved by all kinds of young men, like young, ambitious men. They love this dude. And again, ambitious in the worst way, and horrible values he espouses, him and a lot of people that are like him. Again, I've done videos about this before. Notice this caption by Ben Shapiro: anyone who tells you to ignore marriage in favor of impregnating lots of women and abandoning your children is a grifter. The kind of grifter who also sells you meaningless platitudes for $49.99 a month, guaranteeing you big money income for little or no work. CC Cobra Tate, which is Andrew Tate's account on X. So notice this clip from this post that Ben Shapiro did about Andrew Tate, why he's so persuasive, why so many people love him, and why it's all a bunch of absolute nonsense. But how has he gotten to this point where he is so famous and so loved by many people, and his word just means so much to a lot of people, when the things that he espouses are absolute awful nonsense so much of the time, not all of the time. Notice this examination. Again, absolutely scorched earth.
Well, Andrew Tate has this is his game. His game, Andrew Tate, has been incredibly popular online for a reason, which we'll examine in a moment. Number one, Andrew Tate is very entertaining. He's entertaining because he explodes the myths. But the way that he, quote unquote, explodes the myths is he plays a really stupid game. It's a game for stupid people. The game is like this. I'm going to say two transgressive things that violate the taboos of the culture around me. One of those things is true, and one of those things is false. But because they are both transgressive, and because people will oppose me on both of them, one for bad reasons and one for good reasons, this means that I have somehow gotten under the skin of the Matrix. Everyone opposes me, which is why I'm a rebel. That's Andrew Tate's entire game. So he will say things like, feminism has ruined men by usurping the male role and robbing men of their initiative. That is a true thing. That is a true thing that is not politically correct to say. Then he will say another transgressive thing that is absolutely false. Like, for example, women love it when you treat them like garbage, and you should treat women like garbage, and dominant men are the kind of men who treat women like garbage.
He says some good stuff, but then he also couples that with nonsense transgressive stuff, and people go, wow, well, if he's so right about this, and he took the words out of my mouth, then he also must be right about this too. And so people follow the entire ideology that he espouses, and again, it's absolute garbage nonsense when you put it all together.
That is not a true thing. It's a transgressive thing. And it's transgressive specifically because it's evil. It is a bad thing to say. It is a bad thing to think. Women should not be treated like trash. And good women do not want to be treated like trash. And you treating women like trash is not going to make your life better, and it's not going to make their life better. But it is a transgressive thing to say. It is taboo. And so Andrew Tate has violated so many taboos, and he can get away with it because, of course, the rules don't apply to him. He's a Nietzschean Ubermensch because he is very, very buff, and because he works out a lot, and because he smokes cigars. And this means you should listen to him. You should listen to him, in fact, so much that you should pay him $49.99 a month to join Hustlers University, where you will learn other secrets. Like, for example, you don't need hard work and initiative in order to really get ahead. You can learn his magical methods for making lots and lots of money. You can own a Bugatti, just like Andrew Tate owns a Bugatti. And all you have to do is listen to his magical business advice, which explodes all of the matrix, explodes the matrices of truth, the immutable truths. Now, why am I...
Yes, a big part of the selling point of Andrew Tate is this idea that he's going to get you out of the quote-unquote matrix. And again, part of this has a little ounce of truth into it, which is people can fall into this rut of mediocrity, and they can fall into this rut of just wasting their lives away with things that don't matter. But what he considers to be mediocrity, a lot of those things are amazing moral things, like commitment to one woman and loving one woman. And he would say that's just, you're selling yourself short. You could have so much more in your life. And so there is like a little ounce of truth, and he uses that to espouse a bunch of nonsense that people are just foaming at the mouth for.
I'm talking about Andrew Tate today. The reason I'm talking about Andrew Tate today is because Andrew Tate, again, playing the two transgressive things, one true, one false game, has over the past few months said some true things and then said a lot of false things, all of them transgressive, right? So the true thing that he has said is he said, quote, I pray Christianity regains its strength and protects its societies against the pervasive and constant erosion of morality.
By the way, this tweet is going to be a little explicit. The curse words are pretty much all censored, if not all censored, if I remember correctly. But just FYI, if you're a child or you have kids around, if you're a child, don't watch this part. Maybe talk to your parents and have them watch it and see if they'll let you see it. But if you're a parent, just be advised if you got kids around or something like that. This gets a little explicit. Again, it's censored, but it's still explicit.
And the devotees of Satan. If you accept everything, you stand for nothing. I agree with literally every word of that Andrew Tate statement, that Christianity ought to regain its strength and protect its society against the pervasive and constant erosion of morality by the devotees of Satan. I agree with all of those things, actually. Then Andrew Tate will put out tweets like the one that he did yesterday. Here is Andrew Tate's tweet, and this is why it comes up in the context of marriage. Again, he is telling you an immutable truth must be exploded. That immutable truth is the fundamental good and necessity of family. Quote, Dear white men, you're effed. You're being replaced because none of you have children. Okay, so again, even within this tweet, he is saying a couple of things, all transgressive, some true, some false. One, Western societies are not reproducing a replacement rate. That's a very bad thing. We've talked about that on the show a lot. It is why, for example, family is necessary. But he goes further because, of course, this is his game, to say many transgressive things, some true, some false.
So he starts off with a controversial true thing and then goes to the false thing.
Quote, Dear white men, you're effed. You're being replaced because none of you have children. Even those of you about the replacement online, like little girls, don't find the gumption to F. I see white men bragging about having 5 kids as if it's an achievement. LOL. 5? LOL. Per year, right? Oh, all you white boys lost control of your women. He's a genius. Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. All you white boys lost control of your women, and now they won't accept multiple wives anymore. Now they tell you they don't want any more kids. One's enough. Okay, again, just move the apostrophe. Yeah, in any case, put aside the grammatical picayune concerns. Is they don't want to do their God-given job anymore. No, they want Instagram likes instead. So your genetic potential is stumped by the whims of some singular female. A female who takes 9 whole months to grow a single baby. Other races have multiple ovens for bread. We're not cucked. Some is screaming at you about loyalty, and you're sitting there saying, yes, baby, off to porn when she's asleep, or maybe cheating with a side condom on. Oh no, I couldn't get another woman pregnant. My wife would kill me. Total effing losers. Soon your race will be nothing more than a few pages in a history book. A lesson on what happens when you F the female psyche so hard they're obsessed with money and social media as opposed to being one of many baby factories for a king. 30 children minimum for the Dons. White people, go talk to your best friend wife about what to do this weekend. Maybe you can take a nice walk around the IKEA. Enjoy extinction.
Yikes. Man, that's awful. That's awful in so many ways.
Okay, so again, one true thing, many false things. One true thing. People need to be having more kids in Western civilization. The many false things. Marriage is bad. Loyalty to your spouse is bad. Society can be built on men running around having sex with 30 women and having 30 kids per year. And this is the true measure of a man. And young men, think of that like, wow, that sounds amazing. Because, of course, the male sex drive looks for various women. That is just the way that mammalian biology is built. Males seek to impregnate many females. And so that sounds great to a bunch of young men who are off to Andrew Tate's webcam business. It sounds amazing to them. That's also not how societies are built. But again, the idea is, and this is how you know it's a con, marriage is bad. Right? He's actively saying that marriage is bad.
Yeah, again, think about how wild it is for him to say, oh, your best friend wife? Like, that's a bad thing? Just this morning, I called my wife my best friend, told her she was my best friend. Like, that's a bad thing that your wife, the person who you live your entire life with, the person that you're devoting your entire life with, that she is your best friend. Again, he would say you're devoting your entire life to your wife, right? You're dedicated to her above every other person on the face of the earth. Oh, what a loser. She's your best friend. Oh, she should just be a baby factory for you. Oh, yes, that's definitely got to be the way to live a fulfilled life, to treat other people like superficial human garbage. Do we really think that's the way to live a good, fulfilled life? I'll give you a little bit more about what Ben Shapiro has to say here.
Because if you're a person who has 5 kids, LOL. Now, Andrew Tate himself claims that he has double-digit kids. We've never met any of those kids. We don't know exactly who the moms are. Maybe it's like a girlfriend in Canada. We don't actually know. But for those of us who do have say 4 kids. I have 4 kids. I've been married for 15 years. If you have 4 kids, double the replacement rate, you are in fact doing your societal job. And you should be doing that. But that can only exist. Functional children, children who are going to propagate good values, require a father in the home. See, here's the thing. If you knock up a bunch of ladies and you leave, you have created a generation of young men who are incapable of raising themselves. The effects of single motherhood in the United States.
That is good stuff, dude. Oh, that is good stuff. What happens when you have all these kids and then there's no dad in their life to raise them? Oh, that's good stuff.
States are very well known. You're talking about higher levels of drug use, higher levels of crime, higher levels of poverty, higher levels of suicidal ideation. It creates actual pathologies. And that is what Andrew Tate is promoting.
And again, I'm not saying at all that it would be better if those kids, are never born or something like that. Again, that's the argument that people, pro-choice people make. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's okay, have the kids, but be a real dad and be really committed to their mother. To your wife, make her your wife. That is by far and away the best life you could ever give those kids. Why can't you do that? Why can't you do this morally? Why do you have to treat this in such a disgusting, superficial, materialistic way that's going to ruin a lot of people's lives, make them so much more difficult than they ever would have been otherwise? If they would have had a dad that was committed and loved them and loved their mother and modeled true, moral, godly love. Even if you're not a Christian necessarily, you can model this true love to your wife in a variety of ways.
Because he is a con artist, and he is conning you into doing something. He is conning you into giving away the only pathway toward actual societal success and personal success in favor of his vision of a Genghis Khan-like spreading of his seed.
Absolutely demolished everything that Andrew Tate represents. Again, does he say stuff that is true? Yes, he does say stuff that is true. But he takes a true statement and he goes way too far with it and to immoral conclusions. I mean, that tweet that he did was absolute garbage, nonsense. It is all this bro way of viewing the world, and that's not the kind of world we want to live in. Understand this. Explain to me why the red pill Andrew Tate world would be a better world to live in, or the best kind of world to live in. How is that better for all of society? That's an awful, tyrannical, disgusting, superficial way to live your life. I can't even imagine viewing my wife that way. She's just this one of many baby factories that I have. Oh, it takes her 9 months to have a kid. Like there's something deficient about women, something deficient about wives. Absolutely disgusting stuff. And it's amazing how Ben Shapiro's analysis absolutely takes us down piece by piece on what it is. Let me know what you think, though. Am I wrong about this? Have I been whipped by my wife or something like that? Like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting on Patreon. Link is in the description below. Let me know what you think. God bless you. I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.